Hello, this is the second video to go along with the income statement, just to demonstrate how to use the if function or the max function to ensure that your taxes are never calculated as negative. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up the income statement that we created last time. What I've done is I've deleted the two cells to calculate taxes, and I just want to demonstrate how to use the if statement. So it's going to go in this cell here for 2010. What I want to do is I might make more sense if I let's change my my sales to be 31,000. Oops. 31,032. 31, 3. There we go. 3,142,000. So if I've changed my profit to be only 3,142,000, then what I end up with is an EBIT here that is less than 0. So before, if we were to just type in that it's equal to my EBIT times C4 up at the top, and remember that we want to hit the F4 key or the Command T on your Macs to put the dollar signs in front of the C and the 4, because we want to make sure that as we copy this formula over to the left, it doesn't move our tax rate over to the left here. So I'm going to just hit enter, and you'll see that it calculates a negative tax, and we know that there is no such thing as negative taxes. So in the case when you don't earn any, when you don't have any earnings before taxes, or it's negative, you should be paying 0 tax. So what we need to do is put a statement in here that tells us that. So the idea is that you want to look at the cell up above and say, if this cell here is negative, then we want our taxes to be 0. Otherwise, we want to use the proper formula and multiply our D19 times the C4. So when we set that up, I'm going to put equals if, and I'm going to hit open bracket. Now you can see that it says logical test, value of true, value of false. So my logical test that I'm going to use is I'm going to say D19. And in this case, let's say if it's greater than 0. I could also say less than 0, and I would just change the order of my conditions. So if D19 is greater than 0, then I go ahead and I calculate the taxes by multiplying D19 times C4. And I'll put the F4 there for the dollar signs. And if it is less than 0, then I want to have the value equal to 0. So taking a look at this, you can see when I hit the close bracket, it'll show that it's bold on both sides and I've balanced brackets. So I've got the 3 components of the if statement. I've got the condition part, the D19 greater than 0. I have the value if true portion in the middle, and the value if false is this last part. Okay. Notice that there's no square brackets around any of those. That just indicates that it's an optional argument to this function. But in this case, we're going to be using all 3. So if I go to the end and I hit enter, you'll notice that because my because my earnings before taxes is negative, my taxes are calculated to be 0. Now if I were to just copy this formula over, it should now show a positive amount. So that works really well. So we've got here 0 taxes when it's negative, positive taxes when your earnings before taxes is positive. So that is one way to ensure that you don't have negative taxes. And this if statement is extremely valuable. So you want to make sure that you know how to use that well. The other way is to use the max statement. And we've used this before, but not in this method. So I just want to take the max of two numbers. So in this case, I'll just show you. So if I take the maximum between 0 and, let's say, D19 times C4, the F4 key, close bracket, then what's happening is that I'm telling the function to go ahead and calculate D19 times C4. But if it's negative, then the maximum between 0 and that negative number is going to be 0, and it'll automatically place a 0 instead of the negative taxes. On the other hand, if it calculates a positive tax, then it won't put 0 in this cell. It will put the actual calculation for the tax. So this method will also work. If I hit enter, you'll see it's 0. And if I copy this new formula over, I should still get the 29,480. So if I copy it over, you see it gives you the exact same results. So there you go. That's how you use the if statement or the max statement if you want to ensure that a cell has a positive value in it based on another cell. Thanks.